Alright, so today we're going to be talking about shadows and what makes shadows and where they come from. So, where have you guys ever seen shadows, or when do you see shadows? And anyone can say anything, just speak up.
When you're outside,
Outside?
you walk, yeah, on like sidewalk.
When it's sunny.
In the house.
In the house. Alright?
When you wear a hat.
When you wear a hat. So I think that's a pretty good list, so I'm going to hand out the probe and then we're going to go over it together before we get started. So do I have anybody who would like to read that first part, Five Friends?
I will.
Alright, thank you.
Five friends were looking at their shadows early one morning. They wondered what their shadows would look like by the end of the day. This is what they said.
Okay, Hannah, will you read Jamal?
My shadow will keep getting longer throughout the day.
Charlie?
My shadow will keep getting shorter throughout the day.
My shadow will keep getting longer until it reaches its longest point, and then it will start getting shorter.
My shadow will keep getting shorter until noon, and then it will start getting longer.
My shadow will stay about the same from morning to evening.
Alright, and then the last thing says, which friend do you agree with most, and then describe her thinking. So take a couple minutes by yourself individually, write the person who you think you agree with, and then why, and then we'll go over it together.
If y'all ever need to turn the lights off, it's okay.
Take about a minute or two more and finish up, and then talk. Alright, so once you have your answer, look to the partner next to you and just tell them the answer you chose and why, briefly, and then we'll do it as a class. Alright, so, did anybody pick Jamal? We're not going right or wrong, we're just seeing who picked what answers first.
I did.
So, how come you picked Jamal? So, can you read what Jamal said to us?
He said my shadow will keep getting longer throughout the day.
Okay.
And I'm not 100% sure that I agree with it completely, but like with what I can think of, like it makes the most sense because like I just think of like if you like I remember being in the yard and noticing like in the afternoons my shadow being like
Really
longer than like in the mornings or like other times of the day.
Yeah, definitely. Did you pick? Did anybody pick Maury? You did, Riley. Why did you pick Maury?
I said because the sun was like the highest in the middle of the day.
You think the sun's
Make
highest?
your
makes your shadow longer.
Okay. All right, wonderful. Did anybody pick Amy? All right, Ashley, why'd you pick Amy?
I honestly had no clue. The only thing I've noticed is that when I go outside, sometimes it's really long, but sometimes it's really short, but I've never paid attention to like what time of day it was or...
And will you remind us what Amy said?
Amy said my shadow will keep getting longer until it reaches its longest point and then it will start getting shorter.
All right, did anybody pick Vivian or Vivian? You did? I don't know how to say her name. My roommate's corrected me every time I try to pronounce her name. Fabia. All right.
I honestly, I'm really not sure, but like when I was thinking like at noon, like the sun's directly above you, so I don't know, like I just thought it was shorter at noon because it's above you, and then as the sun sets, maybe like it's longer. I don't know.
That's interesting because Riley said the exact opposite. She thinks when the sun's really high in the sky, your shadow is long. And then did anybody pick Penelope? You did. All right. Why'd you pick?
Because I stay the same height, so my shadow should stay the same.
And what did Penelope say?
My shadow will stay about the same from morning to daytime.
All right, so we have a lot of different answers. So let's go investigate this problem. So first, to get started, we're gonna go over to that wall, and we're gonna work with this flashlight. All right, so do we have everybody? So have you ever been in bed and you're like looking up and you can make a shadow puppet? So that's what we're basically gonna do. So do I have one volunteer who wants to come up and put their hand in front of this light? All right, you want to? All right, so you can do whatever kind of puppet, but just keep your hand right there.
It's a swan.
All right, so put your hand down. So what do you think Ashley needs to do to make her shadow look bigger or smaller? We'll go bigger first. How can she make it look bigger? Where does she need to put her hand? Closer to the flashlight. All right, Ashley, put your hand closer to the flashlight. Did it work? Yeah. All right, so what does she need to do to make it smaller?
Closer to the wall.
Closer to the wall. Does anybody else have a shadow puppet they want to try?
I do.
All right. All right, can you make it bigger? And then make it smaller. Wonderful. All right, anybody else want to try a shadow puppet? No? All right, let's go back to our table. Alright, so does everybody have, we're going to do this next investigation partners, and you're going to do it in your partners, and then we'll talk about it as a whole. So everyone needs one craft stick, and then like you two partners, you two, and you two. And I want you to take your flashlight and see how you can make the sticks shadow longer or shorter or somewhere in between, and notice what you know where you're holding the light, how it affects it.
So like when it's like this.
Longer when it's closer.
Yeah.
Or farther away.
When it's closer, I think you can
So when the sun is up, so I guess
Oh,
it's
it's
really
really
short.
But
when
then
it's
like
further
further
down, like
when
later
it's
in the
setting
day,
and stuff. So when it's
it's gonna be
closer,
really
it's
long.
bigger.
Or I guess maybe.
What do you guys think?
When it's closer,
Because it's like, it's long.
yeah, it gets. And but then if like we're far like.
So do you think the light's acting as the sun?
Directly above.
Yeah.
What did you guys find?
Like when it's like right above it, it's really short. But then if you like start coming like it's setting, then it goes longer.
So if we're acting as the light, all right, will you put yours up? Yeah. If we're acting as this is our light, this is our sun, and can you do the sunrise so it's like, yep, so right there is this, that would be at, what time of day do you think this is if it's in the highest part of the sky?
Like noon.
Noon. So that is insinuating what about this shadow? All right, can you set the sun? And then what is that? How does that compare to the other one?
Small.
So does anybody have an idea of why our shadow is longer in the morning and at sunrise and sunset than at noon?
The sun is closer to us. Like our shadows were bigger when we put it closer to the light.
And it's
like hitting you from either like from the side or something, so it's kind of like projecting it out instead of being right over you. It's kind of just going like down.
That was something I noticed too, like the shadow, like as you move it closer, it kind of rotates like where it's at.
Definitely. Okay, so now we're gonna look at a probe online, or like a investigation, and they did basically the same thing that we just did, but online. Pull it up.